Good morning, dear students. Can you identify the topic to be discussed today with the help of given picture? Yes, you're absolutely right. Today we will study about the modes of heat transfer. In the previous video, we learned the basics of heat. There are three modes of heat transfer. First is conduction, second is convection, third is radiation. Conduction generally occurs in solids, liquids, and gases. Convection occurs in liquids and gases, whereas for radiation, it can occur in any medium. If still medium is not there, so it hardly matters. Conduction is a slow process, convection is faster than conduction, and radiation is the fastest process. For conduction, the medium is necessary. For convection, again, the medium is necessary. But for radiation, no medium is necessary to transfer the heat. In case of conduction, the heat can be transferred in any direction. But in case of convection, heat is always transferred vertically upwards. In case of radiation, heat is transferred in a straight path. In case of conduction, molecules of the medium do not leave their mean positions. In case of convections, molecules of the medium leave their mean position to acquire the heat energy. In case of radiation, medium does not have any role in heat transfer. For the methods of heat transfer, we know that heat flows from a hotter body to a colder body. On a winter afternoon, when you stand in sun, you feel warm, or when you leave a cup of tea on table for some time, it becomes cold. Why do these changes happen? The reason for heat flows from one place or one object to another till they reach the state of thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium here means that both the objects or both the places will have the same temperature. There are three different modes of transfer of heat. These are conduction, convection, and radiation. Let us understand these methods by performing a small activity. Suppose a teacher has a collection of pencils and she wants to distribute one pencil to each student of the class. This can be done in three ways. Way 1. The teacher gives all the pencils to the student of first row. The first student keeps one pencil with him and passes the rest of the pencils to the second student of the row. The second student similarly keeps one pencil and passes the rest of the pencils to the next student. This goes on like this till the last student has received a pencil. Let us talk about the way 2. In way 2, the teacher asks the student to come one by one in a line and gives one pencil to each student and asks them to go back to their seat using a different path. When we talk about the third way, here the teacher throws the pencils towards each student and they catch them. The three methods of heat transfers, namely conduction, convection, and radiation, are similar to the way 1, way 2, and way 3, respectively. Let us now study conduction in detail. The process of transfer of heat in solids from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature without actual movement of molecules is called conduction. The process of conduction can be understood using the molecular theory. We know that the molecules in our solids are closely packed and have a fixed arrangement. They cannot move freely. When one end of solid is heated, molecules at that end absorb energy and vibrate more rapidly at their own positions. These molecules collide with their neighboring molecules and make them vibrate faster. that is, energy is transferred in this way. This process continues and the heat energy is transferred from one molecule to another through the whole length of the solid. Such a process is known as process of conduction. In the given figure, we can see a metal rod. When it is heated from one end, the molecules of that particular end vibrates about their mean position and start to transfer the heat energy from one molecule to another molecule without the actual movement of molecule. We can clearly make out that here the transfer of heat energy happens but no actual movement of molecules. Now let us talk about the process of convection. The mode of transfer of heat in a liquid or a gas by actual movement of their molecules from the hotter to the colder parts is called convection. In convection, the transfer of heat is vertically upwards. Convection takes place in liquids and gases only, since their molecules are free to move about, whereas in solids the molecules are tightly packed and cannot move freely. Thus, convection is not possible in solids. When a fluid is heated, it expands and becomes lighter. The lighter and warmer molecules become energetic and rise, while the colder molecules move down and takes their place. This circulatory movement happening in fluid is called convection current. The current continues till the entire liquid acquires the same temperature. Now let us come to the last method of heat transfer, which is called radiation. The process of transmission of heat in which heat energy directly travels from the hotter body to the colder body without heating the intermediate medium is called radiation. For example, if we sit under sun or near the fire, we feel warm. This is because of the radiation through which heat from the sun or fire directly reaches us without heating the air in between. The heat energy transmitted through the radiation is also known as radiant energy or radiant heat. It travels in a straight line with the speed of light, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Radiation can take place in vacuum also, since it does not require any material medium for its propagation. Absorption and reflection of radiant heat by a body. What happens to radiant heat when it falls on any object? Say, the heat falls on a tree, heat falls on a person, heat falls on a soil. Some part of it is absorbed by the object and other part is reflected by it. The object or a body becomes warm if it absorbs the radiant heat. The amount of absorbed and reflected radiant heat depends on the color of the object and nature of its surface. Dull, black or dark colored surfaces are good absorbers and good radiators of heat, while white and shining surfaces are bad absorbers and bad radiators but good reflectors of heat. A body which absorbs more radiation is called good absorber, whereas a body which absorbs less radiation is known as a poor absorber. Good absorbers are poor reflectors, while poor absorbers are good reflectors.
When you keep an object near a burning wood, it becomes hot because of heat transfer. In this video, we will learn about different ways in which transfer of heat can take place. Heat can be transferred from one object to other by conduction, or convection, or radiation. When heat from one object gets transferred to other object by direct contact, it is known as conduction. For example, when we make tea, heat from stove gets transferred to steel pan because of direct contact, and thus this is conduction. When you iron your clothes, heat energy gets conducted from iron to clothes. In convection method, movement of particles of liquid or gas cause transfer of heat from heat source. Let's take an example of pot of water. As we heat it, water particles near the heat source gets heated first. We know that addition of heat causes increase in movement of particles, thus these particles move randomly and a relatively empty space is formed. To fill this space, particles from far areas move here. Again these particles acquire heat energy and move away. This process goes on and whole water becomes hot. In conduction and convection, there is a medium in which heat gets transferred. But there is no medium between sun and earth, still we get heat from it. When heat transfer takes place without any medium, it is called radiation. You must have seen people sitting around the fire. Here too, heat is transferred in the form of radiation. In fact, every hot body radiates heat and becomes cold. Let's take an example of boiling water on a stove. From stove, heat conducts to pot as it is directly in contact. Due to convection, all the water particles receive heat. If you bring your hand very close to side of the pot, you will feel little hotness. This is because radiations coming from pot.
Applications of convection currents. Chimneys. Smoke and gases from factories and houses rise up the chimneys due to convection currents. Winds. Winds are convection currents. Trade winds are caused when hot air from the equator rises and cooler air from the north and south takes its place. Monsoons. These are winds which blow due to the difference of temperature between the heated land surface and the surrounding oceans. Land and sea breezes. Water is cooled and heated more slowly than the land. Hence, temperature variations among oceans, lakes, and rivers are not very much. The property of water to heat up and cool down slower than land is responsible for sea breeze in coastal areas. During the day, land heats up more than the water in the sea. The warm air above the land rises up. This causes cool wind to blow from sea to land. At night, land cools faster than sea. This causes cool winds to blow from land to sea. It is because of these winds that coastal areas are neither very hot nor very cold. Ocean currents. These are convection currents in the sea. Fume cupboards. Fume cupboards in chemistry laboratories have a chimney. Hot gases from burners rise up in the chimney and are sucked out of the laboratory along with the chemical fumes by an exhaust fan. Motor car cooling system. Convection helps car radiators cool the water heated by the engine. Hot water supply system. In domestic hot water supply system, circulation of water is by convection. Ventilation in houses. Ventilation in houses is provided keeping in view that the air we breathe out is hotter and lighter. Ventilators at the top provide outlets for this warm air, while fresh air enters into the room through doors and windows.
Now let us study the applications of the process conduction. Conduction is used in our day-to-day life in heating the things because metals are generally the good conductors of heat. Heat conduction is applied in cooking with metal pots, ironing of clothes with pressing iron, welding of two iron metals together. Now let us come to the application of convection. The very first application is sea and land breeze. Sea and land breeze which blow in coastal areas are actually convection currents. They occur because water gets very heated slowly and also cools slowly as compared to land. During the day, land gets heated more quickly than sea water. The air in contact with the land becomes hot and rises, and the cooler air above the sea rushes it towards the land to take its place. This sets up convection current which we call sea breeze. After sunset, the land becomes cool much faster. The air above the sea is warmer than above the land. This air above the sea rises and cooler air above the land moves towards the sea. This is called land breeze. Secondly, we will study about monsoons. It is a convection current which is set up because of temperature differences between the land and the sea. During summer, hot air rises from land and cooler wind over the ocean surface, which is filled with water vapor, takes its place. This causes monsoon rains. Winds. Winds are convection currents of air. Some parts of Earth's surface are hotter than others. The warm air above the hot surface rises and cooler, denser air takes its place. This causes winds. Ventilation. Ventilators are usually near the ceiling of a room because the air we breathe out is warmer and lighter than the ordinary air. This rises and escapes through the ventilators. Tall chimneys. Hot smoke and gases from industrial furnaces rise and escape through tall chimneys because hot air is lighter and rises up in atmosphere. Air conditioners are installed near the ceiling above the window for the effective cooling because warmer air in the room rises up and cooler air from the air conditioner being denser descends down and sets up convection currents. Let us come to the applications of radiation. It is good to wear white or light colored clothes during summer as they are poor absorbers of heat and keep us cool. Black or dark colored clothes are preferable for winter because they are good absorbers of heat and keep us warm. Cooking utensils are painted black at bottom from outside so that they absorb heat from the flame quickly. Desserts are cooled at night but hot during the day because the sand is a good absorber and good radiator of heat. It absorbs heat very quickly during the day and loses heat very quickly at night. The shining brass caps used by firemen absorb very little heat and therefore help them to avoid intense heat and thus protecting their heads. Electric room heaters are provided with a polished metal surface behind heating element. This surface reflects the radiant heat that falls on it from the element towards us to make the heater more effective. Radiators of car, air conditioners, and the rear side of the refrigerators are colored dull black to radiate heat effectively and produce a cooling effect. This was all about the applications of conduction, convection, and radiation. Now let us study about thermos flask, which is an application of heat transfer. The thermos flask is a special type of bottle or flask which keeps hot liquids hot and cold liquids cold for a long time. It is made up of a double-walled glass bottle of thin glass which is kept inside a metal or a plastic case. The inner surfaces of both the walls are made shiny or silvery. Air is removed between the walls to create the vacuum. The mouth of the flask is closed with a cork or a plastic stopper. There is a non-conducting support between the flask and the case. Let us talk about the learning and the working of the thermos flask. A thermos flask is designed to reduce gain or loss of heat by conduction, convection, or radiation. The thermos flask works as, first of all, the vacuum between the double walls of flask prevents heat transfer by conduction or convection. Glass, cork, and rubber are bad conductors of heat, due to which heat neither escapes from within nor enters from outside. The brightly polished walls of glass minimize heat transfer by radiation. Thus, heat transfer by all the three modes of transmission is minimized and the temperature of the liquid inside the flask is maintained for a longer time. Do you know Sir James Dewar was a Scottish physicist and a chemist whose study of low temperature phenomenon triggered the use of a double-walled thermos flask for his own design, which has been named for him. In 1891, he constructed a machine for producing liquid oxygen in quantity. Dewar was subsequently the first to liquefy hydrogen gas in year 1898 and to solidify it in 1899.